Hi, this is Nick from Elite Outdoor Fitness, and this video is about weighted fitness top tips. A few questions from you over the last few weeks, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to answer them. Let's start with progression. Progression is really important. If you want to run a good quality park run, you don't need to be running a park run every day. You want to break all the sessions down and look at the basic fundamentals of training. And that's what you want to do if you want to run over the hills or tab over the hills with weight, okay? Progression through running, cross-country running, fell running, and then into the burden work with an addition of strength training, okay? And all of that is really important in the progression of working towards carrying a bergen with weight. As you can imagine, carrying weight with a bergen, it's multidisciplined. Look at the taxation on most of the components of physical fitness when you just go out for a run. It's more inclusive when you go and do a fell run compared to a track run. And then when you're adding weight to that as well, it's even more so. And so having a progression over an extended period of time is really important. Planning. You need a plan. Write it over a period of a few weeks and be realistic about your goals, okay? And then write it in a plan. I do it all the time, and sometimes that plan might need to be adjusted. If I can't be asked to do a training session, or I've been held up by work or whatever, and I've reduced the amount of training that I'm supposed to have done that day, I don't really want to be adding it in there. So what do I need to do? I need to shift the week. And I lose that little bit of training. So I might have a 12-week training program. It doesn't necessarily mean that I've got 11 weeks, but that one session might be adjusted so I can play catch up a little bit over weeks, not but just in 1 week. And so having a good quality plan is really important. Pacing. Pacing is the most important thing when you're carrying a bergen. As soon as you hit that wall, it's a massive wall, okay? So you need to make sure you're pacing. And most people that I train and don't train that come to me for advice, that's the main top tip that I can give you, is make sure you have a little bit of a strategy. And the generic one that I kind of fall back on is a 40-60% rule. Going nice and easy, but comfortable, but maybe slightly under pace for 40% of the actual kind of tab or the duration of the distance that you're doing. And then increase that very slightly between 40 and 60%. And then from 60%, you're in a better place. You're warmed through, you've held back a little bit, and then you can go for it then from 60 all the way up to the end of the race. Bergen packing. I love this one. If you're not seeing one of my lectures, then Google it online. I'm joking. They're pretty boring, to be fair. But make sure you pack your bergen correctly. Most people, they're shuffling around, they've got stuff undone and all that lot. You're pulling everything in. You're packing it out, making sure that it's nice and stable so that when you pull the bergen straps in, it is a part of you. It's a part of your back. And the majority of the weight is around about there, top of the shoulders. If you're doing a fireman carry, you wouldn't have them halfway down your back. You'd have it up there. So make sure you've got that. Make sure that you kick the bottom of the bergen in so it takes it off your lumbar as well. Fueling water, really important. Most of us go out, if we're good runners or whatever, you might do 8 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, and you don't even take any water with you. But then after a period of time, you do, don't you? And you go, I think I need a bit of water. I need a bit of fueling, because you're starting to get deficit in hydration and fueling. So that is really important as well. And you can make sure that you're using that as a bit of a practice session so that when in race day, you don't have to think about it and it's a normal thing. Warm up. Make sure you warm up correctly. Some of you might be using the first mile or so as your warm up. That's great. And so even on the RTGs and the personal training that I give people, we include the warm ups to make sure that you're fully warmed up. And that should involve increases of intensity, 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 1 minute, etc. And also a little bit of stretching as well. Correct kit. Have the correct kit, have the correct bergen, have the correct boots, have the correct kind of trousers. Make sure that you've got synthetic material where you can, like your pants and your top, and make sure that they're overlapping so that when you've got a bit of a belt going on and you're increasing the pull on your belt because you're losing weight as you're going through the bergen runs, if they're quite long, and your rucksack's rubbing on the lower back, it's not going to be rubbing your skin off, and the synthetic material is going to mitigate against that. And like I said before, clear goals. Have a short, medium and long-term goal so that you're realistic in the amount of duration. There's no point having a 4-week goal and saying, I want to do something with 55 pounds over the hills when you're struggling even to do a light run for like 16 or 18 miles, because it's just going to be too taxing and you're not going to have a good day, and then you'll probably come off training on the other end. Have a realistic goal so that it gives you the time and the distance correctly associated with that event. Hope this helps. Thanks for listening.